Hej og velkommen af Sninguna Okkar. Yeah!
What's that?
It's Icelandic.
All right.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to our show. Yeah.
Willkommen.
Velkommen.
It's German as well.
Yeah, and Dutch.
Yeah, and Danish.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Velkommen. We are the best show on the internet that's hosted by us two and that talks about music on a weekly
Basis.
Yeah.
Music is it good though?
That's the name of us, is Music Is It Good Though? And we basically just look at new and old albums and decide whether you at home should be listening to music or not, because is it good or is it bad? My name is Ragnarok.
And my name is Thor.
Okay, cool.
Helve Thor Bjornsson.
Yep. We'll be talking this week about a particular album. But before we get to that, what have you been listening to this week?
So, I think, so last one we did was Boy Genius, wasn't it? Coming out tomorrow.
No.
Coming out last week.
No.
What did we do last?
Metallica.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. In the Metallica video, you talked about Boy Genius, innit?
Don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so following up from that, I've been listening to the solo albums pretty much non-stop from Boy Genius and just getting into all the interviews they've done and stuff, so now I'm a super fan apparently. I've figured my favourite one is Phoebe Bridgers. And I'm going seeing them in Halifax.
Yeah, because I told you about it, didn't I?
Yeah.
If you like them and you live somewhat close to Halifax, you can get to see him, you can follow him home and dox him.
Yeah, go on, what have you been listening to?
Again, different album every day. Highlight of the last week has been Exodus by Bob Marley. It is just every song on it is a banger.
I was really hoping you were going to say by the band Exodus. I was like, Danny's a thrash metal head now.
Yeah. But anyway, never mind all that. That's irrelevant to this week's discussion.
None of this is irrelevant. Watch all the video.
I'm very excited to hear how you pronounce this album, but this week we're listening to Jethro Tull with the album
Rock Float.
That's wrong.
How do you say it?
Rückflöte. So, any preconceptions of the Jethro?
No. Weirdly enough, as far as I'm aware, I've never even heard a Jethro Tull song. I knew what they were meant to be, and that's why I hadn't heard them. Because I thought, I don't want to listen to a band with fluting. Not a big prog head.
Fair enough.
About you?
Something that we discussed ourselves, actually, is that when we saw there was a new Jethro Tull album, we thought, yeah, but not new, though. It's a reissue. It's
Yeah.
They're not still recording music, are they? Like, I know they're a very old band. The singer, I did look it up, I think he's about 75.
Yeah.
So, they've been going a long time. I don't think I've heard anything by them, but, fun fact, when I was in my high school band, one of the sound engineers that was in the Par Hall used to tour with Jethro Tull.
Really?
Tell me, what did you make of this album? Is it what you expected? Is it...
No.
Yeah.
It's not what I expected at all. And I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was curious what you'd have thought of it, because I was just saying to my partner before I left home that I don't think I think you just said it there anyway, but I don't think you're really into prog.
No.
So there's aspects of this as well that I would say are quite folk metal-y.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you're really into that. I know you enjoyed Corpy Clarny once, but I don't know if you're...
live. But what I would equate this more to is the music of Nightwish. Because the guitars on it are quite metal.
Yeah, definitely.
They're really metal, and I thought, this is not what I thought of Jethro Tull. I don't know if this is like a massive departure.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. I was expecting, like, with prog rock, I was thinking, is it going to be like Genesis or something?
Yeah.
But it's way more metal than rock.
Yeah. It's based around the Norse mythology, isn't it? Like, I've had a look at what is it Icelandic titles, some of the songs?
Yeah.
So Vostapa or something? I don't know. I can't remember. And then the second track and then the second to last track, they're all based around the Norse mythology, like the creation of the world.
Yeah, I think all of the tracks are somewhat based.
Yeah, they're all based on it, just those specific ones.
I did read as well, interestingly, it was I can't speak. It was initially planned that this was going to be a fully instrumental album focused on the flute.
Yeah.
And then...
thank God it wasn't.
Yeah, the name Rückflöte comes from Ruk, from Ragnarok. And then I was reading before about how the singer, Ian someone, I can't remember, Anderson, he was saying that this is taking it back from bands like Motorhead and Motley Crue who misuse the umlaut, and yet he's massively misused the umlaut here.
Well.
Like, it's pronounced Rückflöte, and I don't know if that's how he says it, but Rück is just from Ragnarok, and Flöte is just a stylized version of flute.
Yeah.
I don't
Rock
know.
flute.
It's like, yeah, the album's called Rock Flute, and he's just stuck some umlauts on it. Just the exact same as Motorhead and Motley Crue, but yeah. Similar to what you said, is that my expectations were quite different to what I heard on this. I wasn't expecting metal.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I forgot that point. I did really like it. I like it to the point of I've been sat there considering, do I get this one on vinyl? I don't think I'm going to. I don't think it's quite there. But I have been enjoying it a hell of a lot more than I thought. I did think that the mix sounded very strange at times. I don't know if you noticed, in that the vocals seemed like bizarrely loud at bits. No. But then when I've been re-listening to it, and like in different contexts, like with the headphones, through the A word that I don't want to say out loud, the Amazon device.
No.
Yeah. And in my car, then I'm noticing it less and less. So maybe it was just the EQ of whatever I was listening to the first time. Other than that, it was a very different to what I expected, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, like when we listened to like a snippet of it last week, didn't we? And when you started ding, Pfizer done, I thought, I'm not going to be able to get over that. It's just going to ruin it. But thankfully I did.
Yeah.
But there is a track on there, I think it's All Father, where the beginning of it sounds like a 80s sitcom or 70s sitcom or something, theme tune.
I'd have to re-listen to it with that in mind. I didn't think that myself, but I'll have to re-listen and see.
Yeah. I've just listened to the album again this morning, and it's not what I'd say is singing. A lot of it's spoken word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's somewhere like, it's half and half, isn't it? Like, there's bits that are just spoken word, and there's bits that are kind of like speaking with a bit of melody, but without being quite singing.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure at first. One of the things that I thought about this was the singing is quite unusual.
Yeah.
And whether I liked the singing or not. And his voice does sound very aged. Of course, he's 75, and he does sound like an older person singing. And I was thinking, is it a bit jarring for me? But then the more I've listened to it and the more I've thought about it, and how it's all about like Norse mythology and like all the old stuff, and him singing with his quite heavily Scottish accent and stuff.
He's not Scottish.
He's from Blackpool, isn't he? But he sings with a Scottish accent. Yeah. Initially, it was a bit jarring, but then I ended up enjoying how different the singing was. Yeah. Like, I've listened to it 3 or 4 times, and the first time I was thinking, the music's really good, this singing is quite,
You know, it reminded me of like a bard going around a pub.
Yeah.
Because all that I could think of when I was listening to it is, I'm in Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. I was listening to it this morning myself as well, through the Amazon device, and my partner was upstairs, and she just shouted down, "Why are we in a Renaissance fair?" So, yeah, I get that. It's very bardy, but if bards had electric guitars.
Yeah. It was super metal.
Yeah. Top tracks from the album for you?
The second one.
Yes.
Ginna be dung or something like that.
Gonna be dung. Do you want to get the track list up?
Yeah, I can't actually remember what it's called. And even if I do see it, I might not be able to say it. Ginnungagap.
Yeah, Ginnungagap.
Cornucopia. That was amazing. Because I thought that was going to be an instrumental when it was on. I thought, this is so pleasant. Like, if I was in a meadow in 16th century England, this is what I'd want it to sound like. Straight through an electric speaker. And then I like the bonus track as well.
Yeah.
Which is also on the normal track. The Navigators, that is, by the way.
That's the Navigators.
Yeah, how about you?
For me, Voluspo, the first track, it just set the tone nicely, and it doesn't really deviate from that tone. Similar to what we've said for other albums, if you listen to the first track of this and you think, oh my god, what a load of awfulness, probably don't stick with it. But if you listen to that first one and you're interested, if you enjoy it, stick with it, and it's really good. I really enjoyed Hammer on Hammer.
Metal on
metal. Yeah, Hammer on Hammer is all about Thor and the lust for battle, and it was just a nice, fun song. And then Trickster in the Mistletoe. It was just
medieval song ever.
Exactly. That was very Renaissance fair, and I just enjoyed that a lot. I like the vibe of it. So I'm sure there's some people that are really, really super into Norse mythology and will enjoy it for the lyrics and the context and stuff. I don't think you necessarily have to be. You can just enjoy the fun medieval feeling of it all.
Yeah. Like if you'd have sold this to me, this is a very fluty metal album based on Norse mythology, I'm like, this is going to be shockingly bad. But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I guess that says a lot for itself. If there's people out there that are watching this show and you think that this doesn't sound like my cup of tea, probably still try it anyway because it didn't sound like your cup of tea and it surprised you.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah. Any songs on the album that you disliked? No, I agree with that because they are all in a very similar vein.
Yeah.
But because it's so niche and interesting, it doesn't get boring like a lot of other albums would.
I've never heard an album like this. There might be loads out there like it, but I've never heard one.
Yeah, similar for me. There were bits of it that I thought, like I say, bits that were very proggy with the strange timings, which I love. There's bits that are very folky with the flutes and the Renaissance feeling. There's bits, like, I guess in the lyrical context, you could even argue it's more like power metal. I guess things like Nightwish as well, but like singing about the gods and all that is it's like a mishmash of these different genres that goes together really nicely.
Yeah.
So yeah, no bad songs on the album, plenty of good songs. If you listen to us and you think, but that sounds awful, what are you on about? Give it a go. Yeah, let us know in those comments down there if you thought it was alright or not. Or if you think we're a pair of idiots who shouldn't be on this platform, let us know that as well. Out of 10?
9.
9? Ooh. I was going to go for 8. But, yeah. It's just...
You still can.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm going to go for 8, you're going to go for 9. Puts us at an 8.5, which is a frankly very good album for a band that have been going a very long time. Very good album, 8.5 out of 10, which is pretty up there, I'd say.
Yeah, so music is good.
Music this week, we can tell you, is a good thing. And yeah, stick around. And next week, we'll be reviewing this album here. And yeah, have a good one. Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye then.